All right, strap in tight. I got a lot of DVDs to go over in this review. This is my kind of TV roundup review, in which I take a look at a number of recent TV on DVD box sets and collections and kind of tell you which are the good, which are the bad, and which are the ugly. I'm not going to take these in any particular order whatsoever today, except for the order that I happen to have them stacked right in front of me. So without further ado, here we go. First up from Paramount and CBS, we have Jag Season 9. Season 9, that alone should tell you something about this show. I've always thought Jag is a competent show at best. It's a decent show. It's got good lead actors, and for the most part, it's fairly entertaining. But I've never really had any desire to watch it outside of reviewing it for DVDs. It's never a show that I've gone back to rewatching. I've never pulled it off my shelf and said, I need to see that episode where Harm goes and convicts that colonel of a crime he didn't commit, and blah, blah, blah. It's good. It's fine. If you like the show, great. It's on DVD now. But, wow, 9 seasons. It clearly was the show that would not die. People really like Jag. I've never quite figured out what it has done to inspire so much devotion, but there you have it. Season 9, no exception to that. Solid, capable television. If you like the show, it's a great addition to your collection. If you don't like the show, you're not missing anything at all by skipping this. Next up, we have another 9th season of a show, and that is Seventh Heaven, the complete 9th season. Now, I never watched Seventh Heaven regularly when it was airing, but I did watch it sometimes on TV. I did catch it occasionally in the first couple seasons, and I always thought for a show that was sort of about a family that was heavily religious, it was never a show that I felt preached at me too much. And that was one of the things I liked about it. I thought it did a good job of promoting family values and having good characters who tried to embody those values as best as possible. But for the most part, it never felt too preachy or too ultra-conservative or too Christian. And again, another very popular show that lasted a very long time, and here we are in Season 9. Coming into Season 9, having not watched every single episode of every single season before this, it's a little confusing in places just because there are characters I don't know and situations that I don't recognize. But after watching a handful of episodes, I can say it's still a quality show. Fans of the show will be thrilled to have it on DVD. It's still a good series. By this point in its run, it started to feel a little bit melodramatic, more so than usual, because I think the show is always a little bit melodramatic. But overall, it's a good run, a good season. If you like the show, there's no reason not to pick it up. Next up, we switch to comedy, and we have Andy Barker, P.I., starring Andy Richter. I liked this show a lot, and I still like it on DVD, although it still strikes me as to how much of a hit-or-miss show it was. I can't get over how one episode of Andy Barker, P.I. can be, like, laugh-out-loud funny, and the next one can leave you staring at the screen, scratching your head, as if you were just missing the joke. I wish the show had had more time to develop. I think it could have really turned into a powerhouse comedy. Andy Richter I find to be very funny. I've really enjoyed some of the shows he's done in the past, like Andy Richter Controls the Universe, and it's kind of a shame that he's been relegated to supporting roles in movies and being back on television on a regular basis in a talk show format rather than a sitcom format, because I do think he's a very funny guy. I don't think Andy Barker, P.I. was his best effort ever, but it was a funny show, and I really would have liked to have seen more of it. So this is a great little box set for people who are interested in what Andy Richter does when he's not appearing on a talk show. It's a really good time, a lot of good laughs, but be aware it's a very uneven show, and for every time you laugh at a joke really hard, there will be another time where you will just stare blankly at your screen. Next up is Beverly Hills 90210. That would be the original series, Season 8. Kind of like Seventh Heaven for me. I didn't watch this show regularly past maybe the second season when it was on back in the day. So by Season 8, I'm a little confused as to who's sleeping with who, who's married to who, whose kid belongs to who, and frankly, who some of the people are. But again, once you get into it, it's perfectly enjoyable soap opera camp. Nothing wrong with this show at all. It's really fun and enjoyable. There's lots of pretty people to look at, and I love the fact that Tiffany Amber Thiessen is in it, because frankly she is good in everything. And by good I mean stunningly gorgeous, not talented as an actress. But, I know that 90210 fans are out there. I know this is a very popular series even to this day. And I know that the new series on the CW isn't doing it for most of the old-time fans. So for those of you who are missing Jason Priestley and Luke Perry and all those familiar faces, then this DVD set is clearly the way you want to go. For those of you who like your comedy on the ultra-ridiculous side, we have Mystery Science Theater Volume 16. And this is a pretty great set. I have mixed feelings on Mystery Science Theater. It used to be one of my favorite shows in the world. And in recent years, I've been rewatching them as the DVD sets come out, and I just don't find it as funny as I used to. I don't know if it's the show hasn't aged well or if it's my sense of humor that's changed, but it just doesn't quite do it for me the way that it used to. I do still find it entertaining, and I can watch the shows and enjoy them and I laugh, but I don't laugh as hard as I used to. This new box set includes the usual 4 movies that have been MST3K'd, and those movies are The Corpse Vanishes, Warrior of the Lost World, Santa Claus, and Night of the Blood Beast. As you can tell, they found some really, really good choice camp classics to work on in this set. And it's a funny set. It's just, again, I still have that sense that it's not as funny as it used to be. But what makes this box set nice, too, though, is it does come with a really nice little replica figurine of Tom Servo. And that's a nice little bonus for you. It's not too expensive of a set. You get a nice little replica to put on your desk. And, you know, if you're a great fan of the show, there's a lot of laughs, I'm sure, to be found here for you. Finally, we have Scrubs, the complete 8th season, making its way to Blu-ray. Now, I love, love, love Scrubs. Big fan of the show, have been since the very first episode. I will never say a bad thing about it. I don't know that it's a show that necessarily needs the upgrade to Blu-ray. Sure, it looks a little bit better than it does on DVD. It certainly sounds a little bit better as well. This, of all things, is not the type of show that I watch for audio-visual quality. I watch it because it's downright funny. It makes me laugh consistently, and at the same time, I get really invested in the characters and their journeys. So, if you have a Blu-ray player, if you love the Blu-ray format like I do, it's certainly worth picking up if you didn't already pick up the Season 8 set when it came out a few months ago. My problem with it, I guess, is that they should have released the 2 on the same day, not released the Blu-ray months later, so that people who are diehard fans of the show have already gone and bought the set. That, I don't know if it's worth the upgrade for the cost of a Blu-ray TV set. And you're not getting a whole lot extra. But if you don't have it already, Scrubs is fantastic, and without a doubt, I highly recommend this one. In terms of extra features, you get kind of a mixed bag result here. As usual, Paramount leaves its shows bare bones, so 90210, Jag, and Seventh Heaven come with no extra features whatsoever. The other DVDs all come packed with extra features. So, Mystery Science Theater 3000, you get a new interview with the director of Warrior of the Lost World, a 50-year retrospective of Santa Claus Conquers the Devil, a Night of the Blood Beast Thanksgiving version, some intros, some theatrical trailers, and 4 exclusive MST3K mini posters by artist Steve Vance, as well as that limited edition Tom Servo figure that I mentioned earlier. Andy Barker PI comes with a retrospective documentary that interviews most of the people involved in the show, including Andy Richter and Conan O'Brien, a featurette on the writers of the show, you get cast and crew commentaries, and you get a gag reel. And then with Scrubs, you get all the same features you got on the DVD, which includes bloopers, deleted scenes, alternate lines, a couple of featurettes, intern webisodes, and that's about it. You don't get any extra features exclusive to the Blu-ray except for the season play featurette, which allows you to pop the disc back in and leave off where you come back to where you left off, so that you can watch the series as a whole without having to refine where you were at or which episode you're watching every time you put the disc in. Other than that, there are no Blu-ray exclusives that are really any kind of extra feature that's really worth the purchase price of upgrading from DVD to Blu-ray. Of all of these shows, there isn't a single one of them that's bad, but Scrubs is probably my favorite of all of them. Although, again, I'm not entirely sold on the idea of this Blu-ray, especially since Season 1 through 7 are not available on Blu-ray. But if you're looking for something a little more offbeat, I definitely recommend Andy Barker PI. If you're looking for pure silliness and you're an MST3K fan, you definitely want to grab the limited edition box set with the Tom Servo figurine. If you're looking for a good dose of melodrama, Seventh Heaven, 90210 have what you need. And if NCIS and NCIS LA aren't cutting it for you, then Jag Season 9 should do the trick for you.